And we're live.
Yo.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Cellar Nightly here on, I don't know, we're on YouTube. We're here with Louis Katz, Estee, Dworman, Daniel Simonson, Nick Griffin, and one of my all-time favorites, Mr. Will Sylvince. All right. So everybody, if anybody's watching this, you know that day by day I'm getting darker and darker and darker.
Really?
What do you mean darker? What do you mean darker?
Yeah, emotionally or like physically? Are you doing some kind of at-home tanning or?
Emotionally getting darker. This is just more and more upsetting, and every day on the show I say something that I shouldn't say that will probably come back to haunt me. And
Did you inject yourself with Lysol?
No, but I'm going to now that I know that it's the right thing to do. By the way, that's a pretty interesting topic. So you know, so the headlines say that Trump suggests that we use disinfectant that disinfects into your lungs. Okay, this can't possibly, he couldn't have said such a thing. So I watched the video, and what he did, he said something close to it. He says, you know, you said you were going to look into putting the ultraviolet light directly into the lungs, and I wonder, is it possible to do it with the disinfectant too? Because that would be very interesting, and that would be great. And this was supposed to be the dumbest thing that anybody ever said, right? So here's my question. Here's my question. And now let me stipulate by saying he shouldn't have said that, because he needs to know his own strength. He's the president. And merely by sorry, Will, you want me to use smaller words? Where are you going, Will?
You've already offended.
Will went to look up stipulate.
He's going to bring
Will.
the Lysol.
So no, I really want Will for this. All right, whatever. So let me stipulate by saying that the president shouldn't say things, shouldn't speculate, shouldn't ask questions, because, you know, his crazy cult-like following may do stupid stuff. However,
like they did with hydroxy cut.
Hold on. So if we were all sitting around the comedian table, and there was a story that said that it turns out that this virus is killed very quickly by bleach, and I said at the table, I wonder if there's a way they could use bleach in the lungs to clear that up. Would you guys all look at me and say, what the fuck is your problem? You're the dumbest person I ever met. Or would you guys say, yeah, I know, maybe it's poisonous. I don't know. Maybe they dilute it. I don't know. Like, it's not, to me, it's not on the face of it the dumbest thing anybody said. And let me say one more thing. And also prior to that, he was talking about using the ultraviolet light in the lungs. And apparently there is a technology now that is getting ready to be tested where they take a light bulb essentially and put it through the intubate. If you're intubated, they put it through the tube. I guess that comes out of the ventilator. I don't even know how this works. And they're thinking about maybe being able to kill the virus using ultraviolet light. So in that conversation, say, well, actually, there may be a way to put ultraviolet light in the lungs. Hey, really? Is there a way to maybe also use any of these disinfectants in the lungs? I know it sounds crazy. Now, what am I missing? Like, that doesn't, I'm not getting why that is the dumbest question anybody ever asked. Yes, Johnny Sunburn. Ian Fidance is here. Go ahead.
Hi. I'd say you're totally open to your opinion, Noam, as a business owner, but thank God the president of the United States didn't say that.
What's that?
But he claims that he was being sarcastic.
Oh, no, don't change the subject.
Stage time, I think. He just doesn't have the chops to pull that off.
Are you really going to just ignore everything that I said and focus on the fact that he said he was being sarcastic?
How is that sarcastic, though? Is that
I didn't say it was sarcastic. I agree it wasn't sarcastic. I'm saying, but that has nothing to do with my.
So you defend him.
I think if you were at the table and you said we should maybe drink bleach, everyone would be like, yeah, maybe that's a good idea. I think if Will said it, everyone would be like, shut the fuck up. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And that's the difference.
Well,
thank you.
Anyway, as it turns out, I did some research. I spent a lot of time today, and there have been some studies with people diluting chlorine gas. Is that the right word? Or HCl gas? I don't know. I don't know what the gas is. Something related to bleach. Diluting it into something that can be put in a nebulizer type of thing, and they're testing it on mice to prevent influenza. So it's not crazy. I mean, and he shouldn't say it, but the headline says Trump suggested you should do this. He didn't suggest you should do that. And you know what? If you know anything about bias and science, you know the following: that when the press hates him so much that you can bet that no matter what they say about him, even if they're 90% correct, they will always go a little too far because they hate him too much.
Okay, no. What did Fox News say? How did they word it?
Actually, Fox News, I saw on Mediaite, Fox News ridiculed him a little bit, according to the article. I didn't see him on Fox News, but
I saw where Brett Baer said it didn't sound like he was being sarcastic, and that he's a Fox News guy.
Brett Baer, no, he wasn't being sarcastic.
No, would you agree that Fox News love him, right? Yes or no?
Some of the people on Fox News love him, yeah.
Okay, the people.
I don't think Brett Baer loves him, no.
Look, the problem is that there's gonna be some yahoo, some idiot somewhere that say, if President suggested that, let me try it.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
Lysol came out right away with this huge statement.
Like the couple that did hydroxycut.
There's gonna be somebody
Hydroxychloroquine, yeah.
that's gonna do it.
How would they do it?
Totally.
Do they drink it from a bottle, or how does it work?
I bet someone will.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. They just gonna take a bottle of it. Even if they dilute in water, they won't know how. And there's no scientific proof that this works. He's just assuming. Now, if
he didn't say it works. He said it'd be interesting. He asked the doctor, have you looked into this? It sounds interesting. That's what he said.
Right. And here's the thing. You said that, you have to know about bias when he speaks. Well, as a public speaker, you have to know how to read the room. And hasn't he picked up by now?
I've seen your work. Yes, go ahead.
I think I might go drink bleach right now. Doesn't he realize that he should keep mum's a word on some of these things and figure it out and then speak later?
No,
he doesn't have to say
what's
everything.
that word?
He really doesn't.
Logorrhea, is that it? There's like a word for verbal diarrhea. He just said
unintelligence.
Yeah, he lacks tact.
He
He
says
has
whatever
no
comes in.
stopper. That's what it is. Whatever, it just comes out.
He says whatever comes into his head. I don't think he probably hadn't had that thought until he heard himself saying it at that moment, and that's his problem.
He's a president. That shouldn't happen.
I know.
Shouldn't happen. No, it shouldn't.
I agree. But since then, they said, if you take bleach and put quarter cup of bleach in a bathtub full of water, it's actually good for the skin to cleanse whatever they have.
Who said that? Trump? Don't do that, Estee.
No. There was a doctor reacting to Trump. She said she brought it up.
But I think killing the virus.
Not the virus.
President David Tell, everybody.
Hi, Dave.
Hey, Dave.
Hi, Dave.
Who are you,
Dave?
Is this the biggest comedy Cellar Nightly ever, or no?
It is now that you're on it.
Well, I mean, I'm saying in terms of numbers.
It's one of the bigger ones. We're talking about Trump and the bleach thing. You have anything on that?
Did you use
What?
The bleach, when he said that people should use bleach to get in their lungs to get rid of the virus.
Yeah, I've been doing that. It's a cheap buzz.
So anyways, that's my take on it. So how are you doing, Dave? Are you feeling dark?
I'm doing great. I mean, let's face it. It's been over a month. I'll show you guys my calendar of the pandemic. You see the little red faces? That's days I haven't performed. Last day, right here. It was me, Will, right, Will? Will? Hello?
Will,
Will, are you here?
Hey, Will.
Will froze. His thing's frozen.
he's using dial-up. Go ahead.
That's just sad. Well, anyway, it's been over a month. This is the longest I haven't been on stage since I was a young boy. So
That's got to be really strange.
Tough. Yes.
Dave, if they let us open next week, would you go on stage, or are you gonna wait this out at home?
I would go on stage. I think we should do a new policy, which is you have to wear a mask, but you can have your phone out.
And yeah, actually, we stopped before it closed down. We stopped taking the phones because I didn't want everybody to touch everybody's phones.
Well, you know what, Noam, you're a hero.
What about you, Daniel? What's it like in your home country? How are they handling it?
Well, I'm still in the US, but I heard it's actually good now. They have it under control already. Yeah, they're about to open society again.
They are. How do they keep it down? How do they suppress it?
Same as there.
They're a cold, distant people. It's easy.
Yeah. Yeah, we just live life as usual.
Now, Norway is near Sweden, right?
Yeah, right by it.
And the Swedes are kind of just like letting this rip. But Norway's taking it more seriously?
Yeah, the Swedes don't care at all. I'm very curious about how that's going to play out. But they have quite a lot of infected people and stuff. But there are twice as many people as we are too. So it's hard to read the numbers yet.
You know, the beauty of this thing is it gives people a chance to forget their common day problems.
Yeah,
right.
That's true, dude.
Anyway.
Will's back, by the way. Will, Dave was talking to you before.
Yo, what's up, Dave?
I was telling him the last time we went on stage before the world ended was me, you, and Ari Shafir.
Oh yeah, the last show on Earth, you quoted. You said.
That's right. That was it. Last man standing.
I have a picture of it.
There you go. So we can tell the next generation what laughter was. These guys, you know, all funny guys here. I bet you they're all handling the quarantine differently. I personally have settled in now through, chain smoking and a lot of chocolate. I think I've got it under control. So what is everybody doing to cope with the time?
I've been cooking a lot.
You have?
Yeah, I made some vegan burgers. I made vegan spaghetti.
Wow.
I made some vegan sausages, some steamed vegetables.
Well, I didn't think I could get scattered. You helped me, Bill.
Wow. You're one meal away from a Trader Joe's. Estee, what have you been doing? You had the most intense job at the club. You had to book it every week. So now, how do you handle it?
I don't know. Memories, I guess. I don't know. It's just, every day I'm hoping to hear that we are going to be okay. That it's not going to be that long. And before I know it, I'm going to be booking 60 shows a week. You know, that's what keeps me going. I got from Orlando, Libya, from LA. He said that they're talking about Vegas opening really soon.
I don't see that happening.
You guys see that thing with
the Vegas mayor?
Yeah, she's taking a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Now,
what happened?
I ran into Nick. Nick and I took a walk together. You know, we were wearing our equipment and everything, but that's as close as I've come. And I met these other guys. I met Louis and I've met Ian. In the city, they're on their bikes, so they're biking around. So I've seen a few comics. It's not like
Louis, we should go biking together.
I'm down, man. I'm down.
I'm down too.
Mask it up.
Yeah.
Maybe
we'll go pick Will up and we'll mask.
I'm giving you a thumbs up on that.
Estee, you have a bicycle?
Estee, you biking with us?
I don't know how to ride a bike.
What?
I'll teach you.
Wow.
Okay. As a kid, listen,
yes. But she knows how to drive a tank.
I got the chance to go down and play in Poland because I was beaten up once. And so I never learned to ride a bike. When I was married, Noam, Eliezer my husband comes home one day and he brought me a gift, a bike. And we lived on 2nd Avenue, Gramercy. And we came back from work at night and I was riding and he was running after me. And so I went to a bike store and I asked them to put the pedals low so he doesn't have to do this. And the seat and whatever adjusted. And I just took off. I was riding. And he says, oh, okay, now do a figure 8. I did the figure 8. I fell. And next morning, I gave the bike away.
Oh.
No bikes for me.
Never again.
This I can go straight ahead.
Well, you know what I say.
Both pedals, I don't go near it.
The days of sitting on a city bike with no pants are over.
It's just.
That's the time delay. It's
I
fine.
wish I could
back me up.
ride a bike. Actually, right now, my grandson, my son, when the weather is nice, they go, bike riding.
Yeah.
How about you? How about you, Noam, and your family? Have you guys been out or no?
They've been fighting.
You
No.
what?
What?
Did you say, Noah?
Who are you talking to, Dave? To me?
Yeah, you're the only guy named Noam here, isn't it?
I had trouble hearing you. Yes, I think I'm the only guy named Noam. Yeah. Well, I'm homeschooling Dave, and it's quite a burden. But I do it every day. It takes all day, and then I sit and worry.
Dave, you got any advice on homeschooling?
Are you home yeshiving them?
I'm yeshiving them. Yes, I am.
Hey, Dave, you have any advice on homeschooling?
That's just for the Jews. Louis got it.
I didn't
Hey,
get
Will,
it.
what's up? Why do you want a vegan? Why, if you're a vegan, do you want to
Calm down.
Why, if you're a vegan, do you want a burger? It's like the bull dyke of burgers. Like, why do you want the burger?
Take your time. Start again.
That's a very valid question.
It's like, why are you doing all that?
You try to imitate
to be what you hate.
Why are you so angry on my dietary preferences?
I've just never understood the vegan burger thing. Just have some vegetables. You're a vegan. Why do you got to put it all into a hamburger?
Why are you so angry though? Maybe you should give up meat. Maybe you should give up that angry meat that you eat.
Listen, when I tell you that I'm slowly maybe having a little I don't want to say mental illness, but cabin fever.
Yes,
is it, and it is. I am losing my sense of what to say and what not to say, and it's weird. It's weird things happening.
Just be honest.
If somebody put a gun to your head,
don't second guess yourself, because it's a no-win situation. You have to be honest.
Estee, there's a few things I've always wanted to say to you.
Okay.
No, come on, go ahead, guys. You were the comedians. Come on, go ahead.
Well,
Dave.
I'm going to say this.
Yeah.
I think the guy who's really doing the quarantine right would be Louis Katz. Look at that beard. Perfect.
Nice.
Wow. Yeah.
You can tell how long we've been in there by the length of the beard. I like it.
Dave, he had that beard before the quarantine.
Exactly.
But it's got, look how long,
functional alcoholic.
It looks good on you, Louis.
Yeah, not a hint of gray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's nice.
not so
you want to go beard to beard?
Have you dyed it red? Because I know that's big in Afghanistan. I think I saw that in the Hurt Locker.
Hey, Dave.
And look at, of course, Ian with the very cool 70s mustache.
Thank you. Yeah, it's going great. I am really reverting back to someone that lived in the 70s. I'm not using a phone. I'm alone. I have this mustache. It's very off-putting.
Are you going to join the cult?
Yeah, I'll join anything right now just to have a friend I can talk to.
Hey, Dave.
You look like you're like the loneliest swinger. You're a swinger who can't swing. It's really sad.
I'm like a swinger that left my keys in the bowl and I never left.
Ian looks like he does the podcast for Greenpeace.
Ian looked like a villain that Batman won't fight.
Now, I'd like to show you. Everybody, of course, has a pet. I know Ian has a cat. Will always with his tigers. I know this is something that I have been. I got this through Amazon.
Oh.
Yeah, Dave. We
Came all the way
money
from China.
and that's what you choose to buy.
Came all the way from China.
Dave, by the way, Dave, I want to ask you a question. Yeah. Have you checked on the porn community? How are they doing in this crisis?
They're exhausted. They're exhausted. There's not enough porn now for the amount of porn watching.
Dave opens his window every night at 7 and claps for them.
My feet. Good one, Nick. I thought you were
claps or faps.
Yeah. It's one-handed clapping.
Yeah.
You see in the lower frame, there's no one in there. Is that Brad Williams or what is that? These are easy.
Have any of you guys been asked to do any of these online streaming comedy shows?
No, because they suck. What?
I've been getting notices, but I haven't answered.
So
I got invited.
Mustafa, you remember Mustafa who used to,
Yes.
Chappelle. So he's been trying to start something up with. Of course, he wants to do it through the Comedy Cellar, and I'm cooperating with it. And he uses Zoom webinar where the comedian could sit in front of the computer and actually would see an audience of like 10 people in front of him, and it looked like it might actually work. Like it can't be stand up like at a club, but it could be like Daily Show type stuff, sitting at a desk and performing. If has to do with what's going on in the world today, I could see that working. I don't know.
I just can't imagine that they'll only laugh. I'm sure at some point they're going to be like saying something, going to the kitchen. You'll hear noise, and then you can't turn them off. You either need to hear them laugh or.
I think they mute the boxes. So like there's a host, and you have to use a password to get in, so you don't get like trolled.
Right.
And you mute the boxes, but then you can't hear laughter.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You got to hear the laughter.
He wants to be able to hear the laughter. What I would do they're testing it, and look, just for the record, this is just for fun. I don't think anybody's going to pay for this or anything. But what I would do is email the most frequent Comedy Cellar customers, like the people who come 40 times a year. And I would let them be the audience, the people who really are diehard comedy fans. And I think they would behave. And if one of them doesn't behave, then you could throw them off.
That's a good idea.
I know people are doing those like comedy shows, but they usually just turn into like two people talking and then they go on to the next person. But people are having like parties that other people can go into and like be a character or something, like host a game night or whatever, and then people pull tips together and give them money.
Right.
I'm doing like a party game that's an online party game that already exists that comedians can play, and they answer funny things, and then people at home can vote. And I think that's a better way to do it. So you can hear people laughing, the other comedians laughing, but people in home can watch it, but you can't hear them at all. So hopefully that works out.
And is that people can watch that now? That sounds like a good idea. How can somebody see that?
I'm having trouble hearing.
How can somebody see
that? I think it's called like Quiply or something. But more and more things are happening where people are like like last night I did a poker game where I went in and I played like a character and I like hosted their poker night. And then I'm doing like quiz games and stuff. Yeah.
Wow.
Great. Yeah, it's all right. It's like 10 minutes. You make a couple hundred and then that's it. Because everybody, if it's a poker game, more people have money, so they're throwing it in and everything. And if it's a bunch of guys, they like getting like roasted or, making fun of like whatever's around. And then you just kind of. What's that?
Anybody will know?
No. I did a show for this guy at like Chelsea Music Hall. And he contacted me about bringing me into his things, and it's been all right. But I don't know how like straight up comedy would go. I think people just want to feel like they're hanging out with friends. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that's why those late night talk shows are still doing like the standard monologue, even though I don't think anyone's enjoying them. I watch those monologues who just it's just awful. Not that it's their fault, but it just doesn't come off well.
Right. I sometimes laugh when I watch them, but they don't know though. How hard they're crushing. Which is a shame,
Sure.
Yeah.
Will, what is that behind you?
Oh,
one of his vegan treats.
Dave said everybody had a pet, so I wanted to show my pet. What's that behind you?
It came on automatically when you started talking, Will. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Will, you're 2 pandemics behind.
He's still got a Zika mosquito. It's all about the pangolin these days, man. I got a few in the bathtub.
Hey, Noam, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Are you going to have to like warn audience members when you do come back that everyone's going to be a little rusty when they first get started? Or, I mean,
oh no, I would never say something like that.
No one's got any chops.
No, Nick, we're going to do new joke night. We're going to do new joke night before every show.
Yeah, every night's new joke night.
Yeah.
Well,
first of all, I don't think you're going to be rusty, but go ahead, Dave.
I'm gonna.
You are guys too much of a pro comics.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's gonna be, the first 2 minutes, and then it's gonna go.
And
I'm pretty sure that with Ian, no one's going to notice the difference.
Hey, can we put up the yawning guy again, please?
Hey, Noam and Estee, I drove down the block, the McDougal, and these guys have been down there too. It is so sad. It's so empty and quiet. And the only thing I saw open was Mamoon's. Man,
I was about to ask you if Mamoon is open. He's not allowed to be open.
I think he could do takeout.
Oh, for takeout.
Yeah.
And the nuclear...
you can't sit in there. You can't sit in there leisurely. You guys want to say on the mark, get set, go positive if you sat in there. It's so small.
In the next Mad Max movie, they should have a Mamoon's falafel. It'll probably survive the nuclear apocalypse.
They have a Mamoon here where my son lives in Freehold, New Jersey.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, apparently they have a lot of stores all over the place.
That was an accident, Desi. That was an accident.
No, we can't really see. There you go.
There it is.
Leave the palm tree.
Yeah.
Let me look at something pleasant.
I like this. I like this look. It's kind of anyway. So what else? What do you guys think?
What do we miss? Oh.
If they have no vaccine and they have no and this hydroxychloroquine doesn't work, and it turns out that you cannot inject bleach into your lungs, and nothing.
I just saw the news today. They say hydroxy does not work.
No, they didn't say that, but there's a study that is not peer reviewed, which and I read it today. It doesn't say that much, but it didn't come out positively. No, but it with these studies, I put my own boring sign up here. With these studies, there's two big variables. One is the dosage, and you never know what the right dosage is and which one. But maybe even more importantly is when they start using the hydroxychloroquine, because at some point the viral load.
I'm sorry, I've been in quarantine for a month. I giggle at load.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sometimes if it's been a while, the viral load will be quite large. And if the viral load is too large, it may overwhelm the drug. So for instance, I've heard on TV some emergency room doctors who've been taking hydroxychloroquine prophylactically, and they haven't been sick. So that could just be anecdotal. But so this one study is not very clear. But let's say it doesn't work. And that's it. Like, we're just gonna have to figure out how to stay safe. Are you ready to just throw caution to the wind and go back to your regular life? How will you be nervous? Will you not be nervous? You all feel that you're like Dave and I, and I don't know, like, we're not high risk, but we're getting closer to high risk. Some of you guys are really young. Maybe you don't care. So what are your thoughts?
Don't throw me under your skirt.
I'm sorry, Dave.
Great
beards.
But I think if you're going to ask, if you want a science question, you should ask the one guy with the health insurance, Daniel. He's from a country that respects science.
Oh, yeah. I would have to be very ill, though, before I drank chlorine.
Yes.
Be like a last resort. Like more in a panic,
Well, it's good to see the businesses that are opening down south. Bowling alleys, tattoo parlors, hair salons. So basically, they're all set. I assume, I don't know how further along it'll take for libraries and, of course, the Piggly Wiggly to step up. But down there, they'll be ahead of us in terms of openings. If that's the right move, who knows? But I'll say for New York, the idea of live entertainment, we're looking at some time here. So it really does, it's an extra burden on you guys, the club owners, to figure that out. And I really feel for you, because I think us as performers, that's a selfish thing. But for you guys, you have the staff, you have the cooks, you have everybody that you have to take care of. So, that's why it was great that you guys put together that GoFundMe thing. And
we didn't put that together. That was Mike Birbiglia.
Yes, well, there you go. Sometimes it takes a storyteller to get the story. See how I got to that quickly, Noam? That's how I do it. Talking and reading and talking. I just got it quickly.
So,
Dave, you did not lose a step.
I
Thank
did.
God.
he's rusty. He's rusty.
My
Thank
ankles
God.
are like a racquetball. It's bouncing off the walls.
Wait,
of my farm.
on a lighter note,
Wait, but I would.
Yeah, a lighter note.
on a lighter note, what shows have you guys been watching?
But wait, Will, can I just? I mean, I was asking what is a serious question, and if we can move past it. I'm wondering. Everybody must internally be saying to themselves, "Okay, once they open up, am I ready? Like, am I going to throw caution to the wind? Will I get a mask? Am I ready just to jump in and go back to my regular life? Que sera, sera? Or are you going to work as little as you can, only take high-paying gigs, stay home as much as you can? Like, what do you see yourself doing, Louis?"
I only take the most high-paying gigs, and that's why I don't gig that much. No one wants to give me any money. But I'm no. As soon as they call it off, I'm gonna wait a good month. Then if everyone dies, I will keep staying in. If everyone lives, I'll go out. I'm giving it a month on top of whatever they say. That's
now, I heard that they're only going to let, they're only going to let maybe 25% of the people to sit in the club. So they're going to have to get the acts that can only draw that. So Nick, this should be a great time for you. Sorry, I'm not a numbers guy.
Yeah, and we have to figure out whether they might, let's say it's 50% capacity.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It'll be tough.
I don't know if we can make that work.
Is that even worth? I mean, would that be more of a promotional thing? Like you wouldn't be able to make money off that, but you would be able to keep your name out there.
Well, I think this is what they should do. I guess have a plan. Maybe 50% this week, then 3 weeks later, 75%, and so forth. In that case, then I think it'll be worth to open it because you're slowly building back up. But if they just say 50% and have no idea how long you're going to keep that up, then yeah, it might not be worth it.
I think the same way we de-integrated, we have to integrate back into society, like cut the numbers in half, go down lower. We have to start really low, go back and back. I think a good social.
Like what I just said?
Yeah. I said it a lot longer and slower. I think a good social experiment is all those Liberty people that are going to state capitals and taking their mask off. Just seeing what happens to them in 2 weeks will be a good sign for what's to come. Yeah. You know, so they're nice lab rats.
Why do they have guns?
Have you? No,
why do they bring guns to the protest?
That's how we express freedom here. I don't know how they do it back in Norway, but that's how we say that we're free.
We don't vote. Gun up.
What about masks?
The good thing is the underground is big enough so that you can socially distance. You know, but is it worth it? You know,
what about a spit guard? Are you going to put in like a big glass like cage around us so we won't spit on the audience? I know that sounds like I'm joking, but I'm serious.
Restaurants?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we were thinking of putting a salad bar too. Save maybe self-service to save money. Oh, Dave's got a mask. Well, that's another thing. Imagine everybody's in the club wearing a mask.
Yeah.
Well, as long as you can handle last.
Well, there's definitely going to be people in masks.
They'll have to wear a mask.
Yeah.
And the comics will have to wear masks.
Yeah. Here's the question. How come masks can't be see-through?
Good question.
Good question.
They're making see-through masks for deaf people.
You mean like lingerie?
Let's bring out Phil Nye to answer that.
Ian, was that true?
Yeah. I've seen see-through masks. Yeah, for deaf people so they can read lips.
So that'll be a lot better see-through.
Yeah. If we could do see-through masks, I think it could work eventually. But I mean, like for like a year and a half, that would be horrible. But I think see-through masks would make us integrate faster than just covering up everything else.
I don't know. In some cultures, they laugh like that anyway. You know, it's you get used to it.
You don't want to say which cultures, do you?
I can't remember which culture it was. You could say it, Nick.
Maybe if you had a background with their flag, you could show us.
That's another thing about the Cellar that's going to be tough is that a lot of the clientele, because it was so internationally known, is from overseas. And with no flights, that's like, I'd say 20% of the audience, wouldn't you say?
I don't know. But listen, if everybody was ready to go out like they used to be, but we just lost the 20% that are from overseas, we would still sell out because we're turning most shows because we turn away a lot of people. We could lose 20% and still be viable anyway. I'm not saying every single show, but what I'm concerned about is that no one's going to want to go into a a steaming cauldron like the Comedy Cellar where the virus is everywhere.
Well, also there's a question of opening too soon and getting backlash for that as well. Like some places are really hungry to open and then they get a stink on them because they opened before it was safe,
Right.
Yeah, but I think that the club that Louis on will survive that one.
Oh, I didn't mean you. I just mean in general. Like it's kind of like when they open the floodgates, who's going to be the first place to put? Yeah.
And let me just clean that up because I didn't mean anything bad about Louis. I mean, like we experienced such controversy, and I learned that it doesn't really matter. I don't think that the backlash will matter. People don't care.
Louis didn't cause any deaths, though. I mean, people could.
But people hated us. No, it can only cause deaths for the people who choose to come. It is similar to the Louis thing. It's like, well, if you don't like it, don't come. It's free.
Just make it safe. No fats allowed. So then just have a weight limit for people who can come in and we'll be fine.
No, what's allowed?
Fat people.
Oh, fat.
people are getting obese. People are dying.
I mean, at this point, if Governor Cuomo says we can open, I don't think that there's an additional and whatever the terms that they decide is safe to open. I don't think there's an additional moral layer that we have to worry about and whether it's okay to open. I mean,
we're at the last level of entertainment to open. It's going to be like Rockefeller Center, Stomp, and then you guys. It's like
listen, if they open,
you're right.
But if they reopen Broadway, that's going to be a good indication.
What about the governor in Georgia?
Yes,
that guy.
We should car train down there.
What about the governor of Georgia?
The governor in Georgia says okay to open.
Look,
I mean, all these places are going to be good experiments to see what happens. Is it Darwinism in action?
You know what's going to happen. It's going to be another way down there.
It's different. But New York is. I mean, look at the hot seats behind me. New York is very dense.
Yeah.
And I mean, Sweden, is just surviving with social distancing, and they have an outbreak, but it hasn't overcome them. They're not like Italy, deciding who lives and dies. And
why is that?
There's probably a number of reasons. How old people are, how disciplined they are about social distancing. Like maybe from what I'm reading now, it seems like if we had all just been wearing masks since February, we might be in a totally different situation now, Mm-hmm. So maybe in Georgia where the weather's a little warmer and the population may be younger and they're more spread out, maybe they'll pull it off, I don't know.
Well, if the country didn't just start letting like every week, okay, we could do this. All right, do this. All right, do this.
But I think it also comes back to the fact that we move. If the beaches are open and people travel from New York there and spread it that way and have a second round of an outbreak, it's not, if they open Georgia or Florida or whatever, people are going to go there.
Yeah.
So anyway, one thing that's not going to happen is Comedy Cellar Bleecker Street. That's for sure.
What do you mean?
No, I'm thinking over. I want to see a picture of you playing.
Down the road, Noam.
I want to see you playing your mandolin wearing your mask. I think that would be a great image.
Noam, have you heard anything from Vegas?
No. They only that they want me to make sure I keep paying my insurance.
I'm sure. Yeah.
And I'm kind of disputing it because I don't have access to the premises. So like I don't know why I should have to pay for the shows. But anyway, other than that, no, they're being very nice. And I don't know what's going to happen in Vegas. I don't know if it'll ever come back. I don't know.
Ooh.
But as I said, the talk is that they're going to open May 15th.
Yeah, but who's going to come?
No one's going to come, yeah.
And the thing is that
No, if Vegas opens, people will go.
We need a lot of business.
Georgia are going to go there.
Oh, yeah. All those people with guns at the Capitals are going to go to Vegas to prove how free they are.
And those corona positive tigers are ready to go too. Yeah. They just want to perform.
Anybody get the antibody test yet?
No.
No. Where you go to get for that?
I don't know. I said the other day on the show, I don't want to get it because I don't want my wife to see what kind of antibodies I have. So I'm going to have to avoid it altogether.
Noam, how do you explain it to a young child? I'm talking about.
How do you explain what?
How do you explain it to a young child what's happening? Now, how do you say it to your kid? Like, how do you tell them what's happening in the world?
We just tell them there's a sickness that's going around and you don't have to worry about it because children don't die from it. Only old people do. And we have to stay home until they have a treatment for it. And the kids are fine.
You didn't tell them it's because you're bad and now the world has to suffer?
No.
No.
My grandson today got very upset that his summer is going to be ruined. He already thinks that far.
Mm.
I think this would be a great time for a kid with no friends, you know? Pressure on him.
Right?
The great equalizer.
You know, people always driving by, you know, laughing at him and waving.
So what else? What about Daniel? You've been tempted to go home during all this?
Yeah. But I'm so bored in Norway. So I decided to stay here in the hot spot anyways.
They'll probably have shows before we do.
I think so. I think it's getting close actually.
Really? What's it like over there right now?
I'm going to look it up.
I think they're all in quarantine. But in Norway, the weather is so shitty anyway. So you don't want to be outside. But now it's getting better.
I was supposed to have gigs in Norway in 2 weeks, and they canceled them. So I don't know if they just canceled me, but they canceled all the shows. Was what they told me.
Daniel had you canceled?
Huh?
Daniel had you canceled. I spoke to him.
Yeah, it was my decision.
Norway has a very low mortality rate compared to other countries. Spain's mortality rate is almost 7%, while Norway is 1.6%. Norway, Denmark, and Sweden are 2% and 1.6%. It says respectively, but only gave two numbers. But anyway,
why are they so low?
My guess is that in the end, it's going to be two things. It'll be how healthy and old the population are, and then the number of tests that they give. Because if you test 10 times as many people, you're going to have a lower fatality rate because at first, like we were only testing the very, very sick people. And now we're finding out that like our fatality rate dropped a lot when Cuomo did this test of all the antibodies. Now, all of a sudden we know 10 times as many people have it. So the fatality rate is 1/10. So I think that's the difference.
Can you check Haiti?
Yes. How is Haiti doing?
Hold on. No, I'm checking right now.
Haiti coronavirus mortality rate.
You lost Ian. Oh,
I already got my cat.
Oh.
It's bringing up the Fuji's website, Will. I don't know. It says coronavirus cases, 72 cases, 5 deaths, 2 are recovered.
Will, do you know them?
Of course, they all know each other.
What's the population of Haiti?
I think it's 8 million.
It's like New
Hey,
York.
Noam, are you as impressed with Governor Cuomo as the rest of the country is?
No.
Yeah.
I think that, I like him, but I think he really screwed up by not closing the state down a week or two earlier. That's what the Times wrote an article said that 50 to 80% of the deaths could have been prevented if New York had closed down a week to 2 weeks earlier. I mean, that goes between Cuomo and de Blasio, but in the end, Cuomo, had the authority, and de Blasio didn't.
Yeah, but wasn't it because Trump kept saying everything is okay? So
no, not because of Trump.
Nah, governor's got to make his own call.
No, but by the time this happened, he was already lagging behind the CDC. Like the governor, the mayor of San Francisco, on the same day as De Blasio was telling everybody to go out, don't worry about it, have a good time, go to whatever he's saying. The mayor of San Francisco was saying, get ready for school closings, get ready for social distancing, and they took it very seriously. They were telling us not to have gatherings of more than 500 people, when that was already clearly insane. That even gatherings of more than 30 people was already reckless. And of course, there's very few people gathering in groups as large as 500, but there's millions of people gathering in like restaurants with 40 people in them. So
when I said about Trump, I'm saying his influence. Like Trump was like downplaying; it was not a big deal. So his influence.
Cuomo doesn't get influenced by Trump.
I don't think so, Will.
He's way too arrogant for that.
Yeah.
No, he's not arrogant. No, that's not nice, Estee. He's not arrogant. He's just, I don't think that's, they were getting the data. I mean, Ohio shut down. San Francisco shut down. 9 school districts shut down. Some of those states had 5 cases, 15 cases. New York had almost 400 cases before they got serious and shut things down. Now, 400 cases is, maybe 2 weeks further along the curve than 5 or 15 cases, or 3 weeks even. We were way into it when everyone else was shutting down, and we were stubbornly refusing to shut down. It made no sense.
But Norway was really good there. I think that's one reason why it's good now. They were quite swift with all of that. And even people flying into the country had to go in a quarantine.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they were very good at that. But that's how it is in Scandinavia with health care and all that.
What about the oil crisis there, though? You guys make all your money with oil, and now oil's worthless.
Yeah, I don't know how they do that, but they have a big, safety fund, or what you call it. That is like so much money.
I think Cuomo's doing a good job now, by the way. I really do. I think he's snapped out of it.
I can't tell you how aggravated I get listening to him.
Why?
Because he's so arrogant and he's a know-it-all.
Compared to Trump?
He hasn't done anything wrong. And he points to everybody else but himself.
No, I don't feel that way.
De Blasio does a little bit of that too. It's just, who I really like now is the governor of New Jersey, Murphy. He's humane and human being, and it's not not all is what, but how.
Yeah, well, I got nothing bad to say about Cuomo, except I think he made a bad call. I don't have anything bad to say about him.
And I watch it every day with the hope of hearing something new or something more, you know what I mean? And I'm telling you, it's just every time I'm done with listening to Cuomo, I can feel my heart rate going up. He really upsets me.
Well,
what about all the governors that are forming PACs?
Get a chance, listen to Murphy, the governor of New Jersey, and Cuomo, and you'll know exactly what I mean.
Go ahead, Ian.
Well, what about all the governors that are making those PACs coming together to not listen to the president?
I don't know. Nobody knows what to do.
No.
I mean, they hate the president is, I understand why they hate him, because his manner is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But his manner, the things he says, and he is what he is. But I don't know. The governors have to figure this out for themselves. On the one hand, they blame him for not being stronger, and then when he talks about being stronger, they tell him he doesn't have the authority. They whatever he says, they'll say the opposite. But nobody, they don't have to open and they don't have to close.
But
whatever you think.
Lewis, yeah.
But whatever you think about the president, everything else besides it, one thing he's proven over and over again, he doesn't believe in science. And this is a scientific problem. So to have someone who doesn't believe in science leading us through this scientific problem doesn't make any sense.
Well, more than that, we're taking infectious disease advice from the guy who fucked Stormy Daniels without a condom.
You hit it raw? I didn't know that.
Yeah. They asked
All
him.
right, he's got my vote.
Hold on, Dave feels different about that one.
No, I could care less. I didn't know this was so political.
Sorry, Dave. I don't
No,
know.
that's okay. It's okay, because you know what people at home want? They want to hear it again. I think we're doing it at home. Crafting all day.
I'm a one-trick pony. You guys take it. I don't need. I'm happy to listen to you guys. Go ahead, talk.
You
talk
remind
about,
me of a.
Talk about dicks like you're good at. Come on.
No, you remind me of a younger, older Imus. Whole serious talk. No, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, like, you know, you guys can beat up on Cuomo, but I feel like I watch his stuff and I like it. He gets to it, and you know, in New York, and people, I'm sure you're getting calls from around the country. We are going through something like at a different level than anywhere else. So, you know, even in the world, we're going through a different level. Outside of, I guess, Italy and you know, China, we're the ones who are really bearing the brunt of this, and the first responders and all those guys. So I would say that, like, you know, the cool of it, if there is anything cool about it, is like at 7 o'clock when everybody goes out and we applaud the first responders. That's cool. You get to actually see people who live in your, you know, in your neighborhood. So that's like the only thing where it's kind of like a community coming together I could see out of this horrible, horrible situation. But, you know, what can I tell you? That we're, you know, we're ready to go. At least I am. Like, I'm ready to go when it's safe for everybody. And that means staff and audience and comics. So, you know, I think we got a couple of weeks ahead of us, but we're getting close. I know that. We're on the other side of the curve now. And that's a good thing.
And Noam, do you have any thoughts about when it's going to open again?
I don't know. I was thinking that we could start like a football pool, since there's no football, on dates when it would open. I'm going to pick June 3rd, 2021.
I would pick. I might say August 1st.
Oh my God.
That's not too far-fetched.
I say October 31st, Halloween.
I thought July
might be a good time. People will already be wearing the mask. They're ready.
And there's a whole nother issue that I will not bore you guys with, but you can read about it in the Wall Street Journal the last couple of days, just that these PPP loans are not helping smaller businesses, especially in New York, because
what's PPP loans?
Paycheck Protection Program. It's these small business loans that is.
They ran out of money. They just signed the new stimulus bill. So.
But even if you get the money, they need you to the strings attached to it and what you can use it for, what you can't use it for, and the dates that you have to use it for make it almost impossible for restaurants in New York that are shut down right now to use it to their advantage. Now they may change those rules, but right now, because the thing is that the whole attraction of those loans is they're forgivable, meaning that you can, but the way the terms are looking, they may not be forgivable. So if you open and it's slow and you use that loan to pay your employees and pay the comedians to get you through the few months, then 6 months later, you have to start paying it back. And you may still be slow then, and then you can go bankrupt.
I thought you would have to pay it back if you keep your employees on the payroll.
You have to use it all by June 30th, and that's becoming less and less possible as the clock ticks. Furthermore, I don't know if the employees will come back because they're making $1,100 a week to stay home without having to risk their lives. And why would they want to come back down and work downstairs at any risk?
Point.
Yeah,
because we're making less than 1,100. I've been looking into the unemployment, and it's not as good as it seems.
No, you guys are making less, but the salaried employees are making 1,100.
Sure. Yeah, that's true.
But the thing is, even if they could make 1,500 at work, they have to work 40 hours and risk getting sick. They can make 1,100 and just chill, go to the park.
So the solution is,
how's our money?
No, this is only good for 13 weeks. It's not for.
They're going to extend it.
The solution is for the workers to stay home, but comedians, since we're not making that kind of money, we're just going to have to tell jokes and wait our own tables.
Will, it's not a bad idea.
I'll do it.
Dave, you can have the grill.
I was going to ask, No, would you go for takeout at the Olive Tree? Would you do that?
I would if I thought it would be worth the money, but it wouldn't be.
You don't think so?
No. I think Chinese food, pizza. There's a few specific things that people want takeout. The Olive Tree is not. There's not that much demand for the Olive Tree when it's in good times, Dave.
Yeah, but what you could do is this. This could solve two problems. You do the takeout. You have the comics deliver it. They do a little bit of their act. Boom, right there.
Actually, and they can give some weed too, right, Ian? You can sell some weed, do your act.
Me? I've been sober for 5 years, Noam. What are you talking
about?
A
weed knapsack.
Yeah, right. Just because I look like I am weed doesn't mean that I sell weed.
Ian, you sell drugs?
Yeah, you want some, Will?
How can I get some edibles now?
I couldn't imagine being high.
I have a lot of edibles and I don't use them. You can have mine.
Can you mail them? Can I get Armin to mail me some?
I can mail it to you if you want them.
Yeah,
people give me drugs a lot for some reason. So I have a lot of drugs that I never use.
Do any of you guys drink? Apparently there's a lot of drinking going on. Nobody drinks.
No drinks.
I do.
No drugs. I quit smoking.
I've been drinking.
You've been drinking.
I've been drinking during this show. I just drank a whole glass of wine. I drink wine.
I saw it. I got very jealous. I don't drink, no drugs. I quit smoking cigarettes. It's a lot.
That's horrible.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to get sick.
I think we got to wrap it up. We lost Dave.
No. He's taking a dump. He's taking a dump. Dave, this is a no smoking show.
Hilarious. No, this is great. Thanks for having us on. It's good to see you guys.
Listen, Dave, the thing is, I want to do better. Usually Robert Kelly hosts it. I want to do better at this show, and I want to.
I think it's perfect.
I want to get to the point where Dave Attell says, "Wow, he did a great job."
I think he did a great job.
And I got to get rid of the politics, and I got to figure out how to bring the best out of you comedians, and I haven't quite figured that out yet.
I think you did it.
Will, would you like to guest host one night?
Yes,
I guest host.
That would be perfect.
I guest host and Dave be my co-host.
I like the idea of where you have a guest host and people have to email the club or something that you announce it the day before. It's kind of like a celebrity sighting or something. I think that's a good idea.
Dave, do you like to take phone-in calls?
That would be great.
Yeah,
Will can do that.
Yeah, we can do that next. We have the facility to do that. Next time we can take calls and from anybody, see if anybody's listening.
I think that's a great idea.
That's a great idea. It was so nice seeing everybody. I'm glad I got to see you guys again.
Wait, see you guys.
I will say this.
I gotta go.
I want to say this.
When you going, Ian?
I gotta go. I gotta go do a character in a Zoom for 50 people for a corporate thing.
Wow, we're jealous.
Wait, I just want to say this before we go. So I said, even though the show it's not very powerful to do these shows on Zoom, I've found that by doing this every night, it really has made me feel that I'm staying connected to people. At some point, it really does kind of feel like I'm seeing everybody. And I really appreciate that. And I want to keep doing it every single night, even though sometimes I don't feel like doing it. So no, I want to keep it up every night because I think if it went down to 0, we would really just all, pull apart.
Noam, are you lonely?
Are you crying?
I mean, Noam, you look like you're just ahead right now. So
yeah.
I am lonely, of course.
Are you Peter Gabriel?
Don't you have Steve Fabricant's number?
Can I actually before we go, I'll leave you with this because you'll enjoy it. Where the fuck did it? Will.
Will.
Yeah. Because I don't know if Dave has seen it. This is some of you already seen it. This is that's young Steve Fabricant.
Wow.
Whoa.
That's great.
Was he doing the door? Was he doing the door?
Look at that mullet.
He was in high school then.
I didn't know he played for the Islanders in the 70s. I apologize for funning it up. Do you have a political point about this? The mullet?
Okay, I got to go back. Some people are waiting for me. Anyway, thank you very, very much.
Bye, Estee.
See you guys. Bye.
See you later.
Bye, Nick.
Bye,
Bye, Daniel. See you, Will.
Take it easy. Bye, Mike.